So, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I told you I was tired. Just got home from work and just listening to that intro.
Got your
Kind of got
juice.
me got the juices flowing. Brought that BDE, so I'm here. I'm here for the duration.
Excellent. Well, happy to have you here, buddy. For everybody out there, good afternoon, good evening, whenever the fuck you're watching this. This is the Backyard Blitz, and again, I'm not even going to guess at what episode number we're on. Eventually, I'll count them correctly, and we'll get numbers again. We're getting close to 100 now, so we're gonna have to do something for episode 100.
Well, sure.
So I need to count before then. So in the next week or two, I've got to get it situated.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
However, we may end up with Raul. I don't think we're gonna end up with Andy. Some Coach Flint requirements tonight, so might just be us two until we can get Raul in, and we'll run from there. But good weekend of football to recap here. We're gonna focus pretty heavily on the playoffs. Week 18 was really not super meaningful for a ton of teams. We'll recap the scores and stuff, but there's going to be a healthy focus on the playoffs. So Chiefs Broncos on Saturday got us started. This was a good game. It looked like the Broncos were actually going to put the Chiefs in a position where they weren't going to seal up the 2 seed. Late turnover, fumble 6, and it just seems like that's a microcosm of the Broncos season. Like they're close, but like they just can't seal the deal. They lose to these good teams. They've beaten up on the bad teams, and of course the Chiefs lock up the 2 seed. But
they did, yeah. So a little 2-point here with this game. I think Denver may stick with Locke as their quarterback. Possibly,
depending on the trade market. I think
depending
you're
on
right.
Trade market, yeah. Depending on Rodgers' situation, Deshaun Watson situation, but then also you have a new team in that locks up the AFC there.
Yeah.
So Kansas City gets the 2 seed this year, which we haven't seen that in past 4 or 5, 6 years, maybe something like that.
A few years they've been 1 seed right along. So.
Yeah. So, good start to the weekend of playoff implications for the NFL. There, Denver gave it their all, and Kansas City was just the better team in the end. So, hats off to them. But yeah, just a great starter for the weekend.
Yeah, for sure. One concern coming out of that game is Tyreek Hill hurt his heel before the game, and he played really sparingly and didn't look comfortable at all when he was on the field. So interesting to see how that pans out. They didn't get the bye, which they could have used to get healthy. But Tennessee, they won and locked it up, and they had a kind of a walkover game against Houston. So it'll be interesting to see if Tyreek Hill is healthy. Even if he's healthy, though, the Chiefs offense just doesn't look like the Chiefs offense we've come to, see and love and know, and you see all the big plays. They just don't seem to have any of that this season. And in the playoffs, I don't know that they're going to be able to run against the better defenses the way they've been able to against some of these weaker ones. So be really interesting to see here as the Chiefs move into the playoffs. Cowboys, Eagles, Dak Prescott. It seemed like they were chasing history there with Dak Prescott. He needed 4 tutties to pass Tony Romo for most touchdown passes in a season. For all the guff and hatred for Tony Romo that you seem to get from a lot of Cowboys fans for his time there, he holds a lot of records there in Dallas. Very prolific quarterback. Dak passes him with 5 touchdown passes. A couple of big passing games from him down the stretch, bookending that loss to Arizona. I'll be curious to see if they can carry some of that momentum into the playoffs. Eagles sat Hurts and didn't really look like they cared. They were the 7 seed no matter what. They couldn't improve their position, or 6 seed, whatever they ended up being. They couldn't improve their position either way, though. With the Rams and Cardinals being so far ahead of them in terms of wins. So I ask you, as a Cowboys fan, how encouraging is it to see the offense get going, even with Philly sitting a lot of people?
Yeah, it's it's obviously somewhat of a morale booster and something that the Cowboys needed. Definitely Dak needed. I'm still, as much of a Cowboys fan that I am, and how badly I want them to win. And I've been saying it all season. I'm not going to shy away from it. You know, I've been picking the Cowboys week in, week out. I won't shy away from it. It's there's still question marks with them offensively, defensively at times as well too.
Yeah.
The big question mark on offensively, obviously, is, you know, does Dak stay consistent? Is he going to have that type of game that he just had against Philly this first round of the playoffs against a good 49ers defense?
I hate that matchup if I'm a Cowboys fan.
I hate it too, but I love the matchup because these two teams are, who I grew up watching a lot of, in the Steve Young era, Jerry Rice, all those guys. So it's definitely a nostalgia matchup for me personally.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The other issue I have with the Cowboys, and I've been saying it for the past couple weeks, you've been saying it for pretty much the entire year, is Zeke. He's not the same running back. He's not RB1. He's definitely not RB1. I don't care, that you paid him, 2 years ago, whatever it was. He's not RB1. Pollard is your RB1. Put Pollard in, keep Pollard in, and then maybe Zeke will maybe figure it out and be like,
get hungry again,
and not the fast food type hungry. Get hungry on the field. As far as busting out some yards and hitting some people head on like he did early on in his career. So those two things for me, offensively, defensively, can the edge rushers and that middle linebacker core keep doing what they have been doing for the past 5-6 weeks, and that's containment, and that's getting pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, I think the Niners is going to be a good test for that pass rush because Trent Williams essentially eliminates one side of the defense, right? No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Trent Williams is taking half the field out. So how do you rotate guys, Randy Gregory, Lawrence, and Parsons, and how do you rotate those guys? Give one there to keep Trent Williams and whatnot, keep him honest. But where do you rotate those other guys to try to generate pressure? And I think Dan Quinn is a guy that can do that, right? He's a very good defensive coach. He's proven it in Seattle. He proved it in Atlanta with some really good defenses there. They didn't always have, the talent on both sides of the ball, but they had a good defense a few years, especially that year they went to the Super Bowl. So I think you're right? It's going to be interesting to see whether or not those rushers can continue to generate that pressure, because that's what they're going to need, or else San Fran's going to be able to run the ball and they're going to be able to just sit back and pass, and stopping the run is something. Leighton Vander Esch is going to have a good game this weekend. We know Parsons can run people down and tackle. If we're the Cowboys, we need Leighton Vander Esch to have a good weekend against San Francisco.
For sure.
All right, so meaningless game here. Washington against the Giants. Washington wins 22-7. The only real news from this, Terry McLaurin. Today.
Well, yeah. Okay, yeah.
That too. But Terry McLaurin actually becomes the first Washington receiver to have back-to-back 1,000-yard years since 1996. Henry Ellard.
No idea
what a name. What a name. Yeah, for sure. And then Antonio Gibson actually passes Alfred Morris for most combined yards, or first Washington running back to have back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons, or something like that, to start his season. So the couple of bright spots for Washington in a otherwise disappointing 7-10 year. And then, as you alluded to a moment ago, Joe Judge today gets fired, which was surprising to me that they didn't do it yesterday. I figured that was kind of a no-brainer done.
Yeah,
they did some sort of exit interview and then decided to. Whatever. I was hoping they'd keep him because fuck the Giants, and he sucks.
he walked into, and we don't need to stay on these guys for very long, but he walked into, the quarterback room that was already there. Danny Dimes is not your quarterback. Saquon has been injured in both seasons. He's not the running back like he was at Penn State or when he first came into the league. Yeah. Defensively, good grief. Like, they haven't done anything. And
they were overachievers on defense this year.
Yeah. So. But truthfully, I mean, Gettleman resigned. He was going to get fired. He saw the writing on the wall. He just went ahead.
That was a mutual parting of ways.
Exactly.
Let me resign. Don't fire me.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm out of here either way. You ain't got to worry about me anymore.
Yeah. So, he's dealt with the cards that he was given in a way. Now, yes, you're still a head coach. You have to, do what you need to do with what you've been given as well. But at the same time, they didn't have a lot that
groceries in the fridge.
Exactly.
That's a bad program all around. I think he was out of his element. I don't think he's a good head coach, but I also do understand, as you said, like, he was dealt a pretty shit hand, man. I think he had a Uno card in his poker hand. Like, not good. Not good.
Yeah.
All right. Bengals Browns. This was pretty inconsequential, but Case Keenum leads the Browns to a 21-16 win over the Bengals. They closed their season and then announced that they expect to have Baker Mayfield back next year. Whether or not that's the right move, I'm sure we'll talk about that in the preseason next year. We'll see how that develops in the offseason, if there's a quarterback available for them and they decide to make a move. But he's still on his rookie deal, and they may think they could salvage it. He was hurt a lot this year.
He was.
Bad play. I won't at all make excuses for the bad play, but he was hurt and really seriously hurt too. Case Keenum even said it. Like, it was a miracle to get him on the field some weeks.
Yeah, and you got to give the guy credit for going out on the field while he's injured like that with the labrum, I believe is what it was. Painful injury. But at the same time, before that injury, he still didn't do too much.
I said, I'm not excusing the bad play. He was not good this year.
Yeah, exactly. And, last year, everyone was up on Baker Mayfield. They're like, he's finally figured it out. He got over that hump.
I was one of them.
I was too. And then this year just totally digressed and went the opposite direction and went back into the Baker Mayfield who came into the league freshman year, sophomore year, now this again. Granted, he did have some injuries this year, but still the play before those injuries was still suspect.
Yeah. They need to get some weapons on the outside. And I know they tried with Beckham and it just didn't seem to work.
Yeah.
Baker,
well, and he was injured too.
Yeah.
A little bit. And then you had the whole fallout with the dad and come on.
They need to get some weapons. They don't really have a tight end they can count on. They don't have wide receivers they can count on. He is good on TV, but he probably needs to do a few less commercials this offseason.
Yeah, his commercials are pretty solid, to be honest with you.
I love the one where he's putting nachos and cheese in the kids' trick-or-treat bags. That's the best.
I did not see that.
You hadn't seen that one?
I did not see that.
Good. So good.
Oh, man. Did not see that. That's awesome, man.
All right. Bengals rest Joe Burrow, which was the right decision because they weren't going to be able to improve or worsen their position in the standings, at least not worth putting Burrow in the game, especially after he hobbled off the field at the end of the game previously. Yeah. All signs point that he's fine, but that is definitely a good thing. Give him a week that just get healthy for the playoffs. It don't matter at this point. Week 18.
Exactly.
Packers Lions, this game and the Colts Jaguars game had both playoff and draft implications. This one not so much playoff implications, but draft implications. Lions go ahead and beat the Packers, and I wish Andy was here to celebrate it with us, but knock the cheese heads off, or cheese dicks as he would call them. And they look like they've got a guy in Amon-Ra St. Brown that is suddenly they've got a number one receiver there. That dude is legit. Another big game from him. He's the first rookie wide receiver, or he's got the most consecutive games with 8 catches for a rookie wide receiver in history. So, like, that's a big deal. That's a guy that I think they can lean on going forward. Figure out the quarterback position, get him a solid number 2 wide receiver, because I don't think they have that in Detroit on that roster. Work on the running game. But it looks like they're sort of trending the right way with Dan Campbell. I think he needs to give up play calling duties, but they fucking fight for that guy.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you saw it week in and week out with him, and it all started with his introductory press conference with biting kneecaps off.
Baby.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, good for the Lions. I mean, these guys aren't going out there to lose a game just to get stay in the draft status. Like, some of these guys are out there trying to get an extra sack or, a couple more tackles
to put tape there for roster spots, whether it's with Detroit or with somebody else. So,
or get paid on incentives, So yeah, I mean, no, good for Detroit here. So yeah, good to see that.
Yeah, for sure. Green Bay couldn't do anything in terms of draft or playoff seeding either. They were locked into the 2 seed, and Rodgers got some reps, and
then you saw Jordan Love come in, a little glimpse of good play, and then it just went back to the Jordan Love that we have become to known here.
He's not good. They better do whatever they can to patch that up with Aaron this offseason to keep him around.
Yeah, because they do not have a quarterback in waiting.
Just fucking chalk that trade and all that up to, we fucked up. He's not good.
No. I think they know it too.
Yeah. I think that's pretty clear.
Yeah, pretty clear.
Bears Vikings, not a lot from this game. Justin Jefferson finished with a pretty strong game. Darnell Mooney, bright spot for the Bears going forward as a wide receiver. If they can get Justin Fields some stability at the head coach position and some stability on the offensive, coordination and position coaches. But looks like they might have a little bit of something to build around on offense. The Vikings finally fire Zimmer, and now we're hearing the players on that team come out and say, he kind of was a dick and we didn't like him and we hated playing for him. And it was this fear-based, Eric Kendrick said, it's this fear-based coaching and all that. Like, I've been trying to just explain to people that Mike Zimmer's a bad fucking coach for a long time in Minnesota. They've lost playoff positions. They've lost playoff games. They've lost regular season games because of him. And finally they get rid of him. And if I'm a Vikings fan, I think things are pointing in the right direction for next year. Because if they can, everybody can feel how they want to feel about Kirk Cousins, but if they can keep that quarterback position stable, more importantly than who Kirk Cousins is, keep that position stable because he seems to have some good chemistry with those wide receivers, you can get a coaching staff in that can start to change things defensively, start to change the culture. They have talent on that fucking team.
They do.
Maybe you get the right coaching staff in there that can start to change the culture there and maybe just a fresh voice too. They probably were just tired of listening to Zimmer. But both head coaches and GMs fired for both of these teams after this game. Finally, we get rid of Matt Nagy in Chicago.
Yeah. We said it last week that if they kept on winning like they were, would they get rid of Nagy? And I was I was saying they weren't, and I was hoping they would, but going back to the Vikings and Zimmer here. Okay. And now all of a sudden players are coming out saying that they hated playing for him, this and that. To me, it's just like I'll be frank, it's a bitch move. Okay. Yeah. It's a bitch move. In a day and age where basically the players have all the power. You have social media, you have this and that, whatever. And you don't go to social media or say something in a press conference or whatever, to a reporter during the week saying, Zimmer's not the guy here. can't stand playing for him, don't like playing for him, can't win with him, can't win, blah, blah, blah. And it's, to me, it's a cop out. If you thought that after he got fired, say it before. Okay. Say, this is the issue. Guys don't like playing for him. Why did it wait, or why did it have to take him getting fired for the guys to start saying this? So that kind of caught me off guard with that whole situation, because from what I've read on Zimmer and just from what I've heard from other people around the NFL, just through reports and everything, is, he's a very likable guy. Yes, he is, somewhat stern and old school. But the dude's been through a lot, though, too.
Yeah, for sure. And, it seemed like in Cincinnati, he was a bit of a player's coach. And when you start to feel the heat, too, as a head coach, you probably change your tone a bit and try to get, maybe it's something I need to do differently, that sort of thing. So I don't think it was a secret, right? Zimmer knew he had to win or it was going to be over. And it might have changed his tenor a bit. But, he is kind of an old school guy. Obviously, he's like 70 years old, so he came up in a different NFL. Right?
Yeah,
he's been a coordinator for a long time. So definitely a different era now. But, we can all shed tears for him, but he's still going home to that fucking dime piece at the end of the day. So he may have lost his job, but that dude is winning life.
Damn, Kay.
Exactly. All right. Maybe the craziest game of the week, and we had some crazy finishes in the Ravens Steelers game and obviously the Chargers Raiders game, but what the fuck?
I called it.
Happened down in Duval, and you did, man. The floor is yours. Like, what the fuck?
I just like to thank Duval County and Trevor Lawrence for making my pick come true.
Going to Disneyland.
Right.
Dude, 26-11, and really this game was never really close. Never really close.
No.
They ran away and hid, and I sat there looking at the score like, dude, the Colts have to come back at some point, right? And then I think it's the first drive of the second half, and Jonathan Taylor's got 12 rushes for almost 60 yards. He's averaging about 5 yards a toe. And the first play of the fucking drive, you throw the ball, and Carson Wentz throws a fucking pick 40 yards down the field. Like,
yep.
At that point, it was still like a 2-score game. It was like a 10-point game.
I think it was 10.
Point.
Yeah.
Like, dude, Frank, what the fuck are you doing? Stop overthinking it, man. Stop doing it. And Ryan, you're right. Like, I'm there at this point.
Thank
right?
you.
You just can't trust him. You can't trust him. Whatever it is within that offensive scheme, it hasn't fixed him. Whatever happened.
But this was a top 15 quarterback for you.
There's a lot of bad quarterbacks in the NFL, buddy.
But this was a top 15 quarterback for you this year, and I was saying, fuck no. He is not a top 15.
Statistically speaking, he's still in the top 12 or so. But you can't throw picks in those clutch situations and me say you're a good quarterback, right? Like, I'll eat my words on that. He played really well for about 8 games this year, and then he had a little bit of a bump, and then he started to play better in weeks like 15 and 16, and then you can't go to Jacksonville and lose. But I guess in everybody's defense, like, no Colts quarterback has won in Jacksonville since like 2015, man. It's fucking weird. Andrew Luck, who we saw last night, was the last Colts quarterback to go to Jacksonville and win a game. Like,
dude,
what the fuck is going on down in Duval, man? The Colts just can't win down there.
Dude, that picture you showed me of Andrew Luck.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
My
goodness. Totally different dude. Like, you know who he looked like?
Matthew McConaughey and fucking...
yeah, that's exactly what I was just going to say.
I literally was like, this dude, like, he's got a fucking meth habit or something.
Yeah.
Like, I know McConaughey's character had AIDS, but that movie, I couldn't think of the movie name, but yeah, like, I know McConaughey's character had AIDS, but like, I was like, what the fuck happened to Andrew Luck, man?
Yeah.
He's so gaunt and disheveled. Like he looked like he just like grabbed a jacket on his way out the door and threw it over his fucking like Zoom meeting clothes.
Whatever,
Crazy,
whatever.
Man. Oh Jesus! No, Wentz is not that bad. Wentz is not Daniel. No, come on. He ain't Daniel fucking Jones.
No, I'll agree. It's
like the comparison.
It's like 27 and 28 though. 27 and 28.
Daniel Jones is like 78. Oh shit. Anyway, moving on from that fucking shit show, and it still doesn't make sense to me. The Colts just win and you're in against the worst team in the league. And the Jags, despite winning the game, get to keep the second seed or the number one pick because Detroit went and beat Green Bay. So they get the best of both worlds, knock out a division rival, and keep the first pick. But moving on to a better showing from a team that needed to win and get in, the Steelers, who were trailing 10-3, I believe, at one point in this game, ended up winning 16-3 or 16-13 in overtime. And with the result of the night game that we're going to talk about here in a bit, they seal up a playoff spot. Big Ben, in his last season, everyone believes it's his last season.
It is.
Gets into the playoffs. And here we go.
So I should have put this for a cap and facts, but I didn't. So here's the question to you. With what two-part question, okay? The Ravens downplayed the extent of Lamar Jackson's injury. Part two, Huntley is just as good as Lamar Jackson.
So part one, I believe, is 100% facts, 1,000% facts. Like they kept just saying, "Oh, he's practicing. We're going to try to get him on the field." So they made it sound like it was just this kind of he's nursing it back to health type of ankle injury, but your playoff lives are on the line. So
and he's not out there.
You don't pay that guy the money you paid him and then say, "We believe Tyler Huntley gives us the best chance to win." However, getting to your second part of this question, I think that Tyler Huntley is a different player than Lamar Jackson, right? He can run, but he's not dynamic like Lamar. Nobody is, right? There's no comparison when it comes to his running style, maybe someone like a Kyler Murray. But what Tyler Huntley can do that I think Lamar Jackson still struggles with, and we've talked about this on the show throughout this season, that Lamar Jackson, at times, it feels like he's holding back this Ravens offense. He cannot progress through reads, work both the inside and the outside of the hashes on the football field. If the middle of the field is clogged for him, he struggles big time. And we see that all the time. What Tyler Huntley can do, and what I believe is going to get Tyler Huntley a shot somewhere, and it might be a place, a situation like Washington. I don't know that Washington is going to go sign him, but a situation like Washington where a team has a guy that they think is maybe in between, but they want to bring in some competition and they want somebody who's competent that can win some games. I think that's Tyler Huntley, because if he loses the starting job, he's already proven he's a good backup. But I do believe that the Ravens offense threatens the defense in different ways with Tyler Huntley at quarterback than it does with Lamar Jackson. And I think that in some ways they are a better offense with him. They don't have the running element like they do with Lamar, despite the fact that Huntley can run the ball. But yeah, I think you're 100% spot on that Ravens offense looks, at times it looks more dynamic, especially in the passing game with Tyler Huntley.
I totally agree with the passing game. Yeah, Lamar has the edge on the running game, but you don't want your quarterback to be running all the time either. So to me, it might be interesting to see what the Ravens do here come this offseason with the quarterback situation. Now, I know Lamar is, Lamar and everything else, but definitely be interesting to see what they do with Huntley.
Yeah, I think they'd be smart to try to keep Huntley.
I agree.
He'd be an expensive backup, and I don't know that they want to invest that much money in the quarterback position, but I think that's a guy that they want to keep around.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the Steelers, though, they get in, and TJ Watt ties Michael Strahan. He doesn't pass him. I thought he was going to, but
I thought he did pass him.
No, he tied him.
Okay. Okay.
So 21 and a half or
21 and a half. Yeah.
Ties Strahan, doesn't quite get the record by himself, but still in the history books.
And he played 2 less games too because of injuries.
He did. He missed some games. So
technically one, with the extra game added, 1 less game. Then we'll call it at that.
Yeah, for sure. Good for him. I think he's going to be DPOY. I don't know that you can tie the sack record and not win DPOY. I know there's a lot of momentum for guys like Micah Parsons, but I think he'll win
defensive rookie. Yeah,
he'll win rookie of the year, and I think TJ Watt is going to lock up defensive player of the year. All right, Titans Texans. This got close late, but the Titans were kind of too far away to catch. They ran the clock out on the Texans. 28-25, locked up the 1 seed, even with the Chiefs winning on Saturday. Big news is Derrick Henry did not play in this game, but he was designated before the game for return from IR, and they get the bye. So now it looks like we're going to see King Henry back on the field in the divisional round of the playoffs. Whether he's going to be in football shape or not, that guy, I think, has to change the perspective of a defense, right? Like,
for sure.
You don't put that mutant on the field and a defense just goes, he's been out, right? Like,
yeah,
still Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So Titans not only win, get the 1 seed, but they're getting some reinforcements. So
yep, for sure.
AJ Brown looks healthy. Julio Jones, they say, could get healthy before that second round game. So Titans might be even more dangerous than they look right now. All right, Saints Falcons. This had a little bit. If the Niners had lost, this could have gotten interesting in terms of playoff seeding, but the Niners, we'll talk about here in a moment, ended up winning. So the Saints finish at 9-8. Taysom Hill is going to have multiple surgeries on his foot or feet. I think 1 on each foot. He's proving weekly that he's probably not going to reach those incentives as the starting quarterback in New Orleans, or he shouldn't. And Trevor Siemian did fine as a backup, as Trevor Siemian has in nice. Happy to have you here, Hazel. But the Saints, they finished 9-8. I think Sean Payton's done a bang up job with that roster and how much time they've had missed from guys like Kamara, and obviously with Winston going down. The Falcons, it seems they're going to try to keep Matt Ryan around. I'm really surprised by that.
I am too. And I've been saying it for, better part of the season, that he's just taken up so much cap space. And with the season that he had in the past couple seasons that he's had, ever since that Super Bowl where they lost to the Patriots, it's like Matt Ryan has gone downhill. He's still a good quarterback, but I'd still take him over,
60% of the league, probably.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, they're not winning games. And part of that is on Matt Ryan. And so to me, and I've been saying it for a better part of the season, it just felt like with the way they were trending, the way they were playing, that, this might be his last season in Atlanta and last season in the NFL. To me, it just looked like he was going to just go out and, help free up some cap space for the Falcons, retire a Falcon, because really, no one's going to take on that contract. No one.
Yeah. That's going to be a tough one to trade, and they can't cut him. As you mentioned, the dead money's too much this year. I think next year they would be able to get out of it. But this year they're not going to be able to in terms of the dead cap money. I wonder if there's still
a possibility,
right? Yeah, I wonder if this is a little bit of posturing by the Falcons to say we want him, but behind closed doors the discussion is he's going to go out on his own terms, right? Mm-hmm. And I think he's such a favored son there. obviously really close with the owner, Arthur
Yeah.
Blank, and whatnot, that I think that there is that possibility. I don't think that door is quite closed yet on his retirement. I halfway through the season, I didn't see it. I saw more of the trade option, but the more the season has progressed, he's just not the guy he used to be. And I don't know that there's a team that wants to take on that whale of a contract. So I still suspect possibly that there might be some discussion behind closed doors that, hey, we're going to put on the good face. We're going to let everybody know that we still want you, that you've still got gas in the tank, but you're going to go out on your own terms. So maybe we still see something like that.
Yeah, and now that the season for them is over, and nothing's really been said about retirement, and I don't think Matt Ryan would make anything about him, but I think he would want that one last game, in Atlanta, at the Dome there to go out a Falcon, with everyone knowing that that's his last game, have his family there, this and that. So maybe one more season for him.
Maybe if they can take a big swing in free agency and put a lot of weapons and a lot of help around him, they might be able to win some games, but he's not the guy that's going to carry that team anymore.
No.
All right, Jets, Bills 27-10. They clinched the AFC East with that win. Obviously, the Dolphins beating the Patriots was another way that they could have won the division there. But Bills, Jets, not a lot from this game. The Bills seem to be able to run the ball now, which is good. Devin Singletary's had like 300 yards over his last 3 games, so that's really good. Obviously going into the playoffs, and Josh Allen seems to be getting close to that form we saw from him last year. Not a great week, but it was windy as fuck in Buffalo again.
It was, yeah. So they get the bye, wait for the division, and go from there. Let's see if we can break some tables.
Yes, sir. We're going through some folding tables. Niners, Rams. This was a fucking exciting game.
This was a good game.
This was crazy because the Rams get out 17-0. Sean McVay's running around in the end zone.
He was so
tell him to go back to his sideline.
I loved it. I love seeing that awesome from a coach. Like he was amped up.
But then it all caved in.
Yeah.
They give up that field goal at the end of the half to the Niners, and I think it's been really weird this year, especially with teams that just seem to like, we're just going to concede points at the end of a half. It's weird. But the Niners go get 3.
Does it like every week.
Oh, dude, it's a ritual. It's a fucking ritual. Points on opening drives and points on closing drives of halves. That's who we are. But the Niners then come out in the second half because they get the ball after halftime and score a touchdown, and then they get a stop, and then they score a touchdown. And suddenly it's fucking 17-17. Mm-hmm. And then you see the Rams, get to 24, but then the Niners come right back and tie it up. We head to overtime, and the Niners get a field goal, and then the Rams can't do anything with the ball. And we see Matthew Stafford. Yeah, we see Matthew Stafford make a couple of mistakes in the second half that were not what we saw from him in the first half. But the Niners, man, I don't know what it is with the Niners. Jimmy Garoppolo is like fucking 50-1 as the starting quarterback in San Francisco, but he just can't stay on the field. Yeah. They are awful without him. They're like 10-40 without him, but they just win games with him at quarterback. And again this weekend, and they've got the Rams number, man. The Rams are hoping the fucking Cowboys beat the Niners. I can guarantee you that.
Oh yeah.
They're like 6-0 against Sean McVay. Like, whew. Talk about having someone's fucking number.
No, very good game from start to finish. And Stafford looked like he had put the previous 2 weeks behind him in terms of the throwing. And then, and then second half came in overtime and made a couple costly mistakes. So can't be having that against playoff caliber teams. And now, especially during the playoffs. So
I've pointed it out a couple of times on both my Facebook feed and on the show. Deebo Samuel has the right fucking first name, buddy.
Yeah.
You don't want to try to tackle that dude. That dude will put you in the fucking pain locker when you try to tackle. You can't tackle Debo. That dude is a fucking unicorn, man. And he's fast. He's fucking big. He'll run you over. They move him all over the field and do everything. That dude is a Swiss Army knife. It's incredible. And what the Falcons were doing with Cordero Patterson, they obviously didn't win as many games, but dude, Debo's got the right fucking first name.
Yeah.
All right. Dolphins, Patriots. Dolphins finished the season at 9-8. It's sure the Patriots that they're not going to win the division despite Buffalo had already won their game. But after the game, fucking Flores gets fired.
Yeah, this is a stupid move on the Dolphins organization here. Get the fuck out of here. This is why you're called the Miami fucking Dolphins and haven't had a winning caliber team since fucking Dan Marino. Get the fuck out of here.
Dude, he's won 19 games in the last 2 seasons.
When was the last time he won 19 games in 2 seasons?
Jesus. What a terrible, terrible, terrible move. And I'll tell you what, there's rumors right now that Chicago is looking at bringing in Flores.
Good.
And if you want to make the right hire in Chicago,
with Justin Fields,
that's the right hire in Chicago. Because if Brian Flores can win games with Tua fucking Tagovailoa, he can damn sure win a bunch of games with Justin Fields. So,
yep,
go get you some Brian Flores up there in Chicago and just never look back. Never look. I will never understand the Dolphins firing fucking Brian Flores. It just does not.
Who wants to go down to Miami and, win 19 games in 2 seasons and then get fired?
Yeah, like you're gonna have a hard time hiring somebody.
Exactly.
Yep. Fucking stupid. Anyway, Seahawks, Cardinals. Cardinals could have taken over the division.
Oh, the Cardinals again, eh?
Yeah, the Cardinals again. They are the Cardinals again.
They are the Cardinals.
They can't win at home. They're 8-1 on the road this year.
Yeah.
8-1 on the road this year. And they are 11-6. They are 3-5 at home this year. It's a good thing they didn't win the division because now they go on the road.
Now they go on the road, exactly.
But they had a chance to win the division, and Russ cooks them up. He had what he end up with. I think 2 tutties, and Lockett. Yeah, Lockett had 2 tutties, and Rashad Penny looks pretty good there. So this is an enigma of a team, man. Arizona. How are you 8-1 on the road and 3-5 at home? It's so crazy.
I've been saying it all year, bud.
Arizona being Arizona, man.
Yep.
Unreal. That win against the Cowboys was the blip on the radar.
Exactly.
Bucks, Panthers. Bucks score 41, knock off the Panthers, division rival. Big note from this game, Tom Brady had his career high in passing yardage. Also defied Bruce Arians late in the game to make sure Gronk got his incentive. So you ain't taking me out. You ain't taking me out. Gets Gronk a catch and then walks off the field. So good on him. And that honestly, like my brother and I talked a little bit about this. Like that's why dudes will run head first through a wall for Tom Brady.
Yeah,
that's why. Anyway, they're gonna look to get healthy too. They might get Fournette back for the playoffs, so that's a big deal for them because they can't seem to run the ball very well right now.
No, not at all.
Chargers, Raiders, though, man, what a way to finish the fucking football weekend. We talked about this last week as a possibility. If the Colts lose to the Jaguars, the Raiders and Chargers literally could have just kneeled it out. And then somebody one-upped that on Twitter I saw. Couldn't they just snap the ball and stand around for 15 minutes and end the quarter with one play? And they could, dude. Like, there's nothing against that.
Dude, that would have been awesome.
I think they might be able to say, like, forward progress was stopped or something weird like that. But when a defender's not engaged, like, I don't know that forward progress applies, right? No. So they could have gotten real weird with this thing, but they didn't. They played it out, awesome. And we had a fucking spectacular game between Justin Herbert and Derek Carr, the Chargers, the Raiders. They go to overtime after a furious back and forth regulation.
Back and forth.
We get down to 38 seconds left in the game. The Raiders have the ball at like the Chargers 45. So if they're going to kick a field goal, it's going to be 62, 63 yards. And now they're playing in a dome. So elements would have been good for Carlson, who's one of the better kickers in the league. He's probably second best kicker in the league, to be honest, behind obviously Justin Tucker. But they had a chance for this thing to end in a tie, and it looked like the Raiders were content with either walking off with a long field goal or taking the tie. And to be honest, I'm suspicious if they weren't willing to just take the tie.
Oh, yeah.
And
they were.
Yeah, I think so. Yep. They won't admit it, at least not directly, but you heard Derek Carr after the game say, yeah, that timeout changed our mentality. So
exactly. Speaking
of that timeout, Brandon fucking
here's your thanks Haskins.
Oh my God. You gotta be shitting me, man. You gotta be shitting me with this stuff. There's like 3 seconds left on the fucking play clock. And you call a timeout and you say, oh yeah, we wanted to get our fucking run personnel on the field. You had 37 seconds to get your run personnel on the field. It's not that difficult to sub people on the fucking field. So you're fucking lying. You just shit down your leg, buddy. You shit down your fucking spare parts, bud. Like, what the fuck are you doing? You coached your way out of the playoffs. You coached your way out of a sweep of the Chiefs this year. I no longer feel like the most jaded fan base by our fucking coaching staff because I just watched Brandon Staley coach away the fucking playoffs. Man. You had 37 seconds to sub in run personnel and you take a timeout with 3 seconds on the play clock. No, you done fucked up, bud. You done fucked up.
Nah. They have a quarterback. You don't.
Right. Their personnel package is much better than ours. That coach is a fucking travesty, though, buddy.
I'd still take him over Ron Rivera.
Maybe. But good finish, though. Carlson knocks down a 47, 48-yarder to end the game. Raiders lock up 6th seed. And Big Ben, obviously the Steelers were rooting for this game to just not end in a tie. It didn't matter who won. They just needed somebody to win and somebody to lose so that they could get in at 9-7-1 on the season. So big ups to Big Ben and the Steelers, but big ups to the Raiders, man. They've overcome so much adversity. And I think we said it pretty early on, but I think now I think we know that Rich Bisaccia is probably the guy.
I totally agree. And if he's not,
I don't know what they're doing.
No idea.
You better make a stellar fucking hire if you move on from that guy.
Yeah. But I'm right there with you, bud. Yeah. Like he's the guy.
Yeah, for sure. And they better keep Derek Carr too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But that wraps up week 18. So let's transition here to the wild card round of the playoffs. Our first matchup of the weekend, Saturday at 4:30, Vegas and the Tiger King. Derek Carr and the Raiders go into Cincinnati to take on Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Who you got in this one, buddy?
You know my stance on Tiger King. You know my stance on the Raiders and Derek Carr.
This one's split your heart here.
This one is because I've picked both of them at the beginning of the season.
You were buying heavy on both these guys.
Yeah. But I cannot shy away from what Tiger King and Jamar Chase have. It's something special.
Dude.
It's something special, bud.
They are fucking soulmates, buddy.
Exactly.
They are soulmates.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. I'm with you. I think that offense for the Bengals is what's going to carry the day for them. Too many weapons. Obviously, the connection with Burrow and Chase, but Mixon has looked good this year, and T. Higgins has started to make good on some of that potential we saw, from him coming out of Clemson. They still got Tyler Boyd who can make some plays. I think in the offseason, if that team gets a real, true receiving tight end, they might devastate teams next year. Honestly, if you give him an option in the middle of the field that is a true, like Uzama's fine, but
get him
Get him a guy like a Kittle, a Waller, a Gronk,
Higbee, or
get him somebody like that can make some fucking plays at the tight end position. That's going to be a real devastating offense.
Yep, for sure.
All right, so we're in lockstep there. Vegas goes into Cincinnati, but Tiger King and the Bengals get the win. We've got a third time this season. New England goes into Buffalo. Buffalo won the division, but ends up with the division rival in the first round. They had split the season series, so this is a true rubber match for these teams. Who you got, buddy?
Bills Mafia. Bills Mafia. Hands down.
We're breaking some tables. We're breaking some tables. Yeah, get your beer ready. Get them tables ready. Get some lighter fluid. Light them on fire, and we're going through them fucking tables.
Yep.
I'm with you. I think Josh Allen in the running game right now are clicking, and that Bills defense has been pretty good all season. I think the Patriots are really kind of on a downhill right now. I've seen 3 straight games from Mac Jones where he's not been great. They got it going a little bit late in this game against the Dolphins last week, but they didn't look good early, and Mac Jones didn't look good early. So I think we're starting to see him hit a bit of the rookie wall, and I don't think they're going to right the ship against the Bills. The Bills are too good.
Book it.
All right. Moving on to Sunday, and it's interesting that we've got a 3-day wild card weekend. They're calling it the Super Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah, I don't like this.
First game on Sunday, though, we've got Philly heading down to west, maybe South Florida. I don't know how far South Tampa is actually in the state of Florida, but they're going to the Gulf Coast to take on Tampa Bay. Eagles have a chance?
No, not at all. No.
Nah, if they can find a way to run the ball against the Bucs still have a really stout run defense. If they can find a way to run the ball and shorten the game and maybe get, a couple of stops against Tom, you might have a chance late in the game, but I don't see it. I see Tom carving up that Philly defense, and I don't think the Eagles are going to get it going. And I think we could see Jalen Hurts turn the ball over a few times, because if they force him to throw, he's not an NFL quarterback. I'll say it again. He's not an NFL quarterback. All right. Big game of the weekend for us here at the show. Sunday, 4:30. We've got two Cowboys fans on the roster here.
You don't even need to ask. You don't even need to ask.
We them boys?
Yeah, we them boys.
This is an interesting matchup. And I think this is probably the matchup of the weekend.
I think so too.
Strength on strength in a lot of ways.
Besides the Bills Patriots game, I think this one outweighs that game. But those two games are definitely the ones to be watching.
Yeah, for sure. I've gone back and forth a lot on this one throughout the season.
And you're going to go San Francisco and Jimmy Garoppolo, aren't you? It's all right.
I'm leaning that way.
Yeah,
I am. I'm not super confident in that pick though, because I think what the Cowboys can do offensively does threaten some of the back end for the Niners. That secondary is not great. If the bookend tackles for the Cowboys can slow down Bosa and crew, I think the Cowboys are going to have a chance to keep Dak in a clean pocket, and he's going to be able to push the ball down the field a bit. If that happens, I'll be wrong. But if they are able to get pressure on Dak and run the ball offensively, which I think they're going to be able to do because the Cowboys defense doesn't stop the run really well, they've been able to get ahead on people and start to put pressure on the quarterbacks and get those turnovers. We see Trevon Diggs, obviously, with 11 picks on the season. So I'm going to lean toward, I think San Fran's going to be able to get
There's no
pressure.
Waffling here. There's no waffling.
Right.
No waffling.
I'm going with San Fran, but I'm fully admitting that I'm not super confident in that pick. So I'm going to go with San Fran's going to be able to run the ball. I mentioned earlier Trent Williams is going to erase one side of that pass rush for the Cowboys. It's really going to come down to what the left side of the defense can do against the right side of that offensive line for the Niners. But I think the Niners are going to be able to run the ball. They just don't lose with Jimmy Garoppolo at quarterback either.
You're right. You're right.
I'm going Niners, but I do think this is going to be a last possession game.
All right. Good deal.
All right. Pittsburgh goes into Kansas City. It's going to be cold as shit. this time of year in Kansas City, but you got a cold weather team in Pittsburgh going in, so they're not going to have a whole lot of home field advantage when it comes to weather. But Arrowhead is fucking nuts in terms of
noise, cold weather. Guys are going to be liquored up. I mean, I've been there. I've been one of them before in a playoff atmosphere. Like it gets a little rowdy. It's a little rowdy.
Do you give the Steelers a chance?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, how much of a chance? I'm definitely not resting that chance on Big Ben's arm.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm resting it on their defense.
Yep.
Mainly their defense and a little bit of Najee Harris.
Yep.
Yes, there's obviously a chance. Man.
You gonna do it?
I'm thinking about doing it. I
got a cap facts later,
and we can't. I didn't even read them all, but yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. I remember it now.
Maybe we hold the picks till then.
Okay, we'll hold the pick
with the cap facts then.
Okay,
I
sounds
like that.
Right. Right.
I'm with you though. I think the big matchup.
I knew. I was waiting for the comment, Troutnick. I was waiting for you. Done lost your damn mind and everything else. Troutnick's going to be that guy that's going to be at Arrowhead
Rowdy.
And have a 30-pack deep before the game even starts.
Hey, that's a hell of a pregame, buddy. But I agree with you. I think the matchup of the weekend is going to be T.J. Watt mainly against that Chiefs offensive line. And yeah, as Amy just said, T.J. Watt makes you nervous. That dude can wreck games.
Yeah.
If he's in Mahomes' face all day, I don't think that they're going to be able to run the ball very well against the Steelers because they've got really athletic linebackers in the middle that can run guys down. But we're not winning. We're not winning on Big Ben's arm if we're Pittsburgh.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to run the ball with Najee. We're going to make it ugly. We're going to muddy the game up. We're going to play defense. We're going to get after Mahomes. We're going to hope he makes a mistake or two, gives us a short field where we can get a field goal or a cheapy touchdown. And we're going to hope that when it comes down to it and Big Ben's got to be clutching late in the fourth quarter, which he's done a lot this year, that he's going to be able to do it again. And if we need a field goal to win, we've got a pretty damn good kicker in Chris Boswell as well. So that's the formula for the Steelers, and I'm with you 100%. We'll get picks here in a little bit. We've got a cap facts that kind of lines that up for us. So stick around to hear the picks for the Steelers and Chiefs game.
For sure.
Last game of the weekend, or I guess week beginning of next week, Monday night game. First time ever a playoff game. Here especially on Wild Card Weekend, we're playing on Monday night. We've got Cardinals at the Rams. Cardinals are going on the road. That's a key point because we just talked about the fact that they're 8-1 on the road this year. To the Rams, who have been super wishy-washy all year, up and down, up and down. How do you see this one playing out?
You can't disregard the fact that the Cardinals are 8-1 on the road. You can't disregard the fact that you have Matt Stafford, you have Donald, you have Odell, you have some of these other guys, you have Sean McVay. Okay. This one's a tough one, but I'm going Rams on this one. And mainly for the fact that it's the Cardinals and they always trend down towards that. Yeah. So
I'm with you on the Rams. I think star power is going to win the day this weekend. I thought at halftime the Rams had figured it out and they were ready for a fucking playoff run. And then the second half happened. And I was like, well, I was wrong. But I think they are going to get this win over the Cardinals. I just think that they've got too much star power on defense. Aaron Donald's a game wrecker. Jalen Ramsey is probably the most versatile defensive player in the league. He's the Deebo Samuel of the defensive side of the ball. So yeah, I'm with you. Rams, I think at home, they're going to have a little bit of an advantage despite the fact that the Cardinals have been so good on the road this year. But I think Stafford and company are going to kind of settle in with this game. If they make some mistakes early, though, as Flynn has pointed out before, we might be in for a long day for LA. So.
Yeah.
Raul, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, I'm glad I can make it. Practice ran a little late, so I was trying to get it all together. Dad mode in full effect. Yielding calls from Stanford, Nova, no biggie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they're chasing sixth graders.
Cardinals. Yeah.
Rams Cardinals.
Early commitment.
I had the Rams losing this, I had the Cards losing either way. So Rams for sure.
All right. Excellent.
Yeah.
Let's do a little lightning for you. We're going to save one because we've got a cap facts, but I want to get your picks for the rest of the games. A little lightning round here.
All right.
Vegas Bengals, who you got?
Tiger King.
Mm-hmm. Pats Bills.
Give me Bills Mafia all day.
Bills Mafia. We're breaking tables. Yeah, Amy, you're right. Before we get to the next games here, they want the money. That's all it is. They don't care about 6 days rest versus 7 days or 5 days rest versus 6 days rest. They don't care. They just want money. Philly, Tampa, Raul, who you got?
I mean, Tampa.
Yeah.
Obviously.
We had sort of the same reaction. San Fran, Dallas?
Yeah, no, it's the boys. They're going to get their W.
Okay. Excellent. We're going to save Chiefs Steelers because we've got a cap facts later. Don't want to spoil that.
Hell yeah.
All right. Speaking of cap facts, let's transition to cap facts. All right. So our first cap facts of the evening is Joe Burrow will lead the Bengals to their first playoff win in the text messaging era. We sort of spoiled this, but I wanted to point out the fact that their last
1991.
91, and the first text message traveled over the airwaves in 1992. So I think we were unanimous. So I think we can all say facts on this one.
Facts.
Cap facts. This is the one we saved. Big Ben will win a playoff game to put a stamp on his last ride. Stove, you doing it?
I'm not going to do it. I'm not, and it's not because of Tronic or anything else like that.
He didn't bully you into it?
No, he didn't. Because I was real close on picking an upset here. But I think the Steelers have basically spent their mojo on
That's a fair assessment. I like that.
With
it's
everything.
Exhausting.
Yeah, with everything that was going on with Roethlisberger on the last home game at Heinz Field and family and everything, and then going on the road and beating Baltimore in an overtime game, like all that.
A division rival, a black and blue game, and they went to overtime.
Yeah. So I think a lot of their mojo with everything.
They had to wait till 1 a.m. to find out if they were going to the playoffs.
Yeah. So cap on this one. Give me the Chiefs on this one.
Raul?
Yeah. I mean, give me the Chiefs, dude. And it's nothing against Ben. It's just the Chiefs are gonna turn into the playoff Chiefs. I don't think that's gonna go away, and I don't think the Steelers have the tools to stop that. So yeah.
I'm gonna be the dissenting opinion here, and it's very nip tuck. It's like we talked about, Stove, that we're gonna rely on TJ Watt and company to get after Mahomes. We're going to rely on Najee Harris to give us a little bit of balance on offense. That dude is a man. If they ever get an offensive line there, that dude's going to run for 1,800 yards and probably have 2,500 all-purpose yards. That dude is a man. Mm-hmm. Go figure, a Bama running back, right? But we're going to rely on that, and then it's going to come down to a last possession where the Steelers have to go down and score a field goal to win. And I just think Big Ben, with all of his inability to be the guy he used to be, he's still clutch. We've seen it a handful of times already this year. So I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to take the Undertaker's last ride, and we're going to get a win for Big Ben on his way out.
I'm not mad at that. Not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm glad. Usually you are mad at me.
Well, you usually say dumb shit, so you give me plenty of reason to be mad.
All right, Cap Facts. The Bills should feel good about where they are right now entering the playoffs. Raul?
I mean, I say facts. They're going to walk into, I'm not going to say easy, but it should be a routine win for them. They should be able to handle this game, no problem. And it sets them up for, I mean, if they're not going to have a bye week, they might as well be ready to go into next week and whatever that's going to entail based off of this weekend. But, I mean, yeah, I think they should be fine.
All right. Stove?
Yeah, facts on this one as well. And we kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier with the run game that Buffalo has going on with Singletary. Josh Allen, isn't having to run the ball like he normally has been. Seems like he's passing the ball better. And then also on the opposite side, the Patriots and Mac Jones not looking like he had been early on in the season. He's been trending downward towards the end of the season here. So,
yeah, it's a clean sweep. I think it's facts. I'm with you 100%. Bills running the ball. We talked about it. Yeah, I'm going to get to that right after this one. That fucking hurt. Let me tell you, that fucking hurt. 1 point. 1 point.
If one of those teams would have got that 2-point conversion, bud.
Fuck. That fucking hurt. Especially for a game that was like fucking 6-3 at the half. And it was like 13-12 going into the fourth quarter. And we got an explosion of points in the fourth quarter, and it finished a point short. Anyway, Bills should feel good about where they're at, though. Running game, I love it with what Singletary's doing. I like where Josh Allen is mentally. I think it'd be a little more efficient with the ball, but it was windy as fuck last week. If we can avoid a hurricane gale force winds in Buffalo this week, I think they should be just fine. And as you mentioned, Stoven, we talked about a little earlier, Mac Jones is trending in the wrong direction, finishing his rookie season. So a little bit of a rookie wall. We see it with a lot of guys, but he looked so good for so much of this season that it is a little surprising to see it down the stretch, but it's not surprising that a rookie hits the rookie wall. Yeah. We're just going to rub it in because I picked the Steelers. I like it. All right, next Cap fact, similar vein here. The Bucks should feel good about where they are right now entering the playoffs. Stove?
I'm going Cap on this one, and mainly for the fact that the Bucks have been injured for a while now. Still don't know if you're getting Fournette back. You still don't have a run game. Passing wise, you have Mike Evans, but your receivers have been injured too. Defensively, yes, you still have a good stout run defense, but they've been injured as well. So I'm going Cap on this one just because of all the injuries that they've sustained. And if they get those guys back, you don't know what percentage you're getting them back and if they're in playing shape right off the bat. So
that's a good point. Godwin's hurt. Obviously, you're not getting him back. He's at the ACL. He'll be back next year. Where that is, who knows? He was on the franchise tag this year. But Antonio Brown, obviously injured ego. And they definitely need to get some of those guys back. Raul, Cap facts. How the Bucks feeling?
Yeah, I kind of was going to allude to the same shit, just in that depletion in the offense, man. Not having like a reliable kind of set of tools for Tom to really work with. Like, I don't know. I mean, Gronk's clearly not what he used to be, right? And then, missing as much time as he has this season. There's not really anybody that's going to be able to lead him on the deep ball into a Super Bowl or any kind of contention, because we've got the Chiefs, who I believe are on the rise, in the AFC. I'm used to Tom Brady still being a fucking Patriot, apparently, but you've got Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is not gonna these matchups are totally different. Like, the Bucs defense is stout. There's no doubt. Can they keep up with Devontae Adams? everybody on that defense or on that offensive front for Green Bay? That's a return question, I guess, for you two.
No, I think it's a good point, and I think Stove alluded to it on defense. Like, they still have the solid front four with Sue and Pierre-Paul and everybody else. They can still via Vea, and they can stop the run. Linebackers are still good if they can get Levante David back.
But corners and safeties.
That was a big loss. But yeah, that back end, you're absolutely right. Devontae Adams threatens that back end in a way that not many receivers in this league can. You've got 2 or 3 guys that really are in that group. And he's one of them, and he's got the best quarterback in the league. So, in terms of his ability to engineer that offense right now, I don't know that there's a question of whether or not Aaron Rodgers is playing at that level. So you're absolutely right. This is a clean sweep. I'm cap on this, and it really is the injuries. I think the only redeeming factor you have right now in Tampa is obviously number 12. It's hard to bet against number 12, but they're so depleted. Chris Godwin is such a big injury for them because he is a security blanket for Tom on third down, which makes a big difference because Gronk isn't, as Raul said, Gronk's not what he used to be. Gronk used to be the guy that moved the chains. Chris Godwin's been that guy for Tom in Tampa. That's a big loss. Losing AB, a guy that Tom clearly had some chemistry and some confidence in, hurts big time. And Stove, you mentioned, do you get 100% Leonard Fournette back, right? If he's back, is he 100%? Do you get what you got out of him last year in the playoffs? Because he was a big part of that Super Bowl run. So I'm with you. Cap on this. I think the injuries really puts them in a situation, and some of the turmoil too. That Antonio Brown situation really distracted them from that stretch run that should have just been them trying to peak for the playoffs. So
yeah,
with you 100%. Cap facts. I got a couple of Cowboys fans with me here. So Cap or facts, Dak will lead the Cowboys on a deep playoff run. Let's start with you, Ro.
The Cowboys, Dak's gonna lead these guys into a first round victory, and then second week they're gonna lose, and it doesn't matter to who they play against, they're gonna lose.
So he's going Cap.
Stove.
I'm going opposite.
That's deep for Dallas, dog. Like, I'm just being real about it. This is deep for Dallas. Like, goddamn, realistic goals, man. I'm cool with one. Hey, I would rather be under promised and over delivered.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm cool with that. I'm gonna go the PG safe route. But yes, no, the fucking Dallas Cowboys are gonna win this week, and then they're gonna lose next week.
Stove?
This is facts all the way, baby. This is facts.
We going deep.
Get that shit out of here. That weak ass shit out of here.
Dak and the boys making a deep playoff run. I'm going Cap. I picked the Niners earlier to beat them, but I did say that I'm prepared to be wrong on that. I think it's going to be that tight of a game, but I'm with Raul. I don't see them making it past the second round if they do get a win. Although, as Raul said, that is deep for the Cowboys. So that's deep for anybody in the NFC East, really. All right. Last Cap facts here. The Rams will go on a deep playoff run, just not this year. Cap or facts, Stove?
I like this one, and I'm going facts on this one. They've been so inconsistent, and it starts with Stafford. You can't be having the turnovers like he's had the past few weeks. What was it? Three picks, then 2 picks, and then another 2 picks. So I mean, that's 7 picks in 3 games.
3 weeks.
Yeah. Can't be having that, especially in playoff football. You're just going to get destroyed. So I think not this year. I'll go next year though. A year under his belt in that system with the core and everything like that. So facts on this one.
If you ask me this question at halftime of Week 18, it's facts. But that second half was a train wreck. And I think you're right, Stove. I think they are a year away from a real run Stafford comfortable in that offense. Getting Robert Woods back next year would be big for them. He's that guy that can do a lot. He's their version of what Deebo Samuel brings to the Niners and some of the other guys in the league that just do everything. Robert Woods is that guy. I think having him back next year would be a big help. And another off season where Stafford and McVay can kind of refine what they do in that offense. I'm with you. I think next year is the year, not this year. I could see them honestly losing to the Cardinals in round one, despite picking the Rams. You know, this has just been an enigmatic season with the Rams.
Yeah.
All right. That wraps us up for Cap or Facts. We are going to move on to Salute. Raul, do you have? I have one pulled up unless you have something ready to go.
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right, buddy. All right. This week's episode goes out to Army Chief Warrant Officer 2 Marwan Sameh Gabor. He died November 12th, 2020, serving during Task Force Sinai. He was 27 of Marlborough, Massachusetts, died in a helicopter crash while on a peacekeeping mission on Egypt's Sinai Peninsula. You know, these peacekeeping efforts, you know, we frequently are put in peril supporting these peacekeeping efforts because the military trains with these vehicles, these transport vehicles that can move large amounts of equipment and personnel. And unfortunately for Army Chief Warrant Officer 2 Gabor, this ended in a tragedy in Egypt, serving on peacekeeping missions. Army Chief Warrant Officer 2 Gabor, we have the watch. All right. Let's transition here to Thanks Haskins. All right, I'm going to open the floor first. I've got a couple, and I'm going to save whichever one doesn't get taken because I think somebody is going to possibly take one. Let's start with Raul. You got anything for Thanks Haskins this week?
I think my Thanks Haskins is probably going to be – I'm going to try to go the not obvious two. I don't know. The Dolphins organization's my Thanks Haskins. You know?
That's one of them.
I mean,
what the fuck?
Come on, dude. Are you fucking kidding me?
Have you seen any of the videos from Frank the Tank from BackYard or from Barstool?
Yes.
He's a passionate Dolphins fan. He was damn near tears in one of his videos talking about Flores. That's how dumb a move this fucking was. Like, damn near tears, man. Just unreal. Good choice, Raul. Good choice. What the fuck are the Dolphins doing, man? Stove?
Should I take your other one?
Yeah, if you
No.
want. I got a few in the chamber. You go
okay.
ahead.
No.
I got a few in the chamber.
No,
This is an interesting weekend.
Yeah. I was actually gonna go the Dolphins as well here, but let me see if I got another one in the chamber.
Give me a rant about Staley. Give me that rant.
No,
I want all that stuff.
I'm all right with it. I'm good with that one. I got nothing right now because I was gonna go the Dolphins on that one.
I'm gonna rattle off three kind of in sequence.
Actually, here, real quick, quick.
Get after it. Pitter patter.
Chicago Bears.
Okay.
Matt Nagy. You finally got it right. It took you 3 fucking years, too fucking long. You drafted a quarterback that you knew was not going to be playing for that same head coach after a year. The Chicago Bears organization is almost like the Miami Dolphins organization right now. For that, thanks Haskins.
Did you see George McCaskey's fucking interview talking about how like he's still the person with respect in that organization and he answers to the owner because it's his fucking mom and like holy shit, what a fucking tool bag that guy is. What a shit show.
Did not see that.
Oh my god. Take a quick look on Google because that dude's a fucking tool bag.
But now,
right.
if the Bears pick up what you said earlier, Flores, then the tables have turned, and then it's going to be a damn K.
Yeah, buddy, we're getting a damn K if Flores is hired there with Fields. Fuck yeah. All right, so I'm going to rattle off 3 in succession, and it's all coaching decisions. It starts with Joe Judge for the Giants running 2 quarterback sneaks at his own fucking 3-yard line in a game that they're down. It was like 16-7 at the time. They run back-to-back fucking quarterback sneaks. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. You deserve to be fired in-game for that shit. Hashtag thanks Haskins there. Frank Reich throwing the ball in a win and in game against the Jaguars, a team you should handle, but they're throwing the ball when your running back's averaging 5 yards a fucking carry. Nix that shit. Put the ball in the belly of Jonathan Taylor and let him go fucking nuts. Hashtag thanks Haskins. And then the bonehead play of the weekend, the bonehead decision of the weekend, man. I ranted about it a little bit earlier. Brandon Staley just with the weirdest timeout I've ever seen. And then to kind of put the stamp on it, has the dumbest explanation after the game. There was like 3 seconds left on the play clock when he called timeout. And his explanation after the game was, we wanted to get our run personnel in the game. You had 37 seconds on the play clock to get your run personnel in the game, and then you call timeout. It's just the most inexplicable timeout. And my hat's off to the Raiders because I think that they were like content to just either try to bang a 60-yard field goal or just fucking run the clock out and not take a chance because it's the safe play. But once that timeout got called, good on them to just go out there. We're going to run it down your throat, and we're going to try to get this first down, and then we're going to kick a field goal. And lo and behold, they did. Josh Jacobs runs it for 12 yards or whatever, and they bang home a 48-yard field goal with one of the better kickers in the league. So Brandon Staley for the inexplicable timeout. Hashtag thanks Haskins.
And that was a fucking great game otherwise.
Oh, my God. It was such a good game.
Fantastic game.
Absolutely. All right, let's slide over to a little 180 from Thanks Haskins and run some damn K. All right, let's start with Big Stove on this one.
So I got 2 for this one. One, going back to last week and last week's pick of the week.
Yes.
If you remember this correctly, I picked the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Indianapolis Colts.
We did.
Thank you, Duval County, and thank you, Trevor Sunshine Lawrence. Hashtag damn, K.
Okay.
Second one, Carlson's field goal to send the Oakland Raiders, who I had picked at the beginning of the season to make the playoffs. Hashtag damn, K.
Raul, what you got for us? How do you follow that up?
I don't. No, my only damn K was just a simple damn K actually goes off to the Oakland Raiders.
Vegas.
For making their way into the playoffs despite the Gruden bullshit, despite everything that has happened this season. Fucking damn K for sure.
Buddy. All the fucking turmoil. All the
cards were definitely
not in their favor.
Stacked against them for sure.
Yeah, they were.
It was not. Yeah,
they were playing blackjack with old maid cards.
Playing blackjack with fucking tarot cards, dude. Like I don't know how they managed that, dog. Oh shit.
Oh, son of a bitch. Son of a bitch. All right. My damn K stays in a similar vein. I'm gonna go back to Big Ben. The just sticking with it, right? Like the Steelers just don't die. We talked about Tomlin halfway through the season. There were rumors with him going to USC. He dispelled those rumors, but there was talk of him being a candidate, blah, blah, blah. And of course, they've had nothing but winning seasons with Ben, nothing but winning seasons with him. Ben is now the only quarterback in history to have 18 winning seasons for like his entire career with one team. Like that's just an unbelievable mark. I think other quarterbacks have had that many winning seasons, but not with the same team, Brady and Montana and, along those lines. So for all of that and the fact that the Steelers have a guy playing quarterback that can barely even lift his arm to throw the ball, damn K to Tomlin and everybody for rallying the troops and staying with it, sticking with the game plan and
fucking
just
damn K to Tom
getting there, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. And damn K to Andrew Luck for making it out of that concentration camp he's been in for the last couple of years. I mean, what the fuck, dude?
Oh shit.
I didn't even get a chance to talk about that, but
so we'll open the floor because we compared him to Matthew McConaughey
and Dallas Buyers Club.
Yeah, full blown AIDS. Yeah.
He just looks so gaunt for a guy that played at like 240.
Yeah.
He has to be like $170.
That's what a 2,000 calorie diet probably looks like on him.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That's what dad duty will do to you.
That's fucking Ned Flanders in the flesh, dog. That is Ned Flanders.
Oh,
he has technology timeouts in his house. I fucking guarantee it. I guarantee it. Oh man, yeah. That happened to pop up, and then Jameson torn ACL last night.
That's fucking brutal, man.
God damn.
For a guy that was going to be the first wide receiver off the board too. Just absolutely brutal.
Man, but nothing makes me happier than watching fucking Alabama lose a national championship. Nothing makes me happier, dude. Oh,
we like that kind of petty around here.
Oh, I fuck with it. Hey, good on Saban though to be a good sport, and even to openly admit, hey, you kicked our ass in the fourth quarter. I loved it. I love that banter, man. And then to sit behind in the interview and give credit to his quarterback and his receiver, like I love that. Like that's. That's why we're talking about the greatest college football coach of all time. So, but either way, any day that Alabama loses is a good day for not even just America, the world. Like the world's a better place when Alabama loses a game. It's like it is.
The sun's a little brighter. The birds are chirping a little sweeter.
Right. I think kind of the same thing with Eagles fans too, just because we've seen what happens when they win. They burn their fucking city to the ground the day they won the Super Bowl. They had to grease the light poles for weeks. And we don't need any of that shit. They ride 4-wheelers in the city and things. Like, what are you doing?
Fucking nonsense.
What are you doing, bud? What are you doing?
God, that's quick trigger. Way to go, Stowe.
Oh, fucking all time, bud.
Oh man, that's so good.
He's got to play an extra in a movie somewhere, right? Like he's in like a saloon shootout in the 1800s, like something.
Yeah.
The OK Corral. Yeah, for sure. He is definitely something. There's something going on there. He's getting ready for a new Tarantino movie, the first Tarantino movie without cussing, something like that. I'm sorry, he just strikes me as a very vanilla human being, like just fucking Wonder Bread as a human.
Oh, good.
Look at the way he's dressed, dude.
Dude.
He's got a polo shirt and a blazer. What are you doing?
He's got the polo unbuttoned with the taco meat hanging out, too.
My man's got the Urban Outfitters polo shirt.
Who wants a mustache ride?
And a fucking Men's Warehouse clearance rack blazer. and the dirtiest caterpillar I've ever seen, and like a 10 a.m. shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't help that the freeze frame is the crazy eyes.
Right.
So he is about to explain to you how he knows the truth about wormholes. And 5G's here to rot your fucking brain.
He did go to Stanford, bud.
Yeah.
Oh, what a fucking finish to the show.
I didn't say he wasn't wrong. I just said he's going to be the
He's
guy
gonna
who
explain
swears
it to
he
you.
has that information. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, I'm glad I managed to make it in.
Yeah.
It was questionable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
At least he got out early, man. Good for
He
him.
did. He did get out
Yeah.
early.
Yeah.
Speaking of getting out early, Megatron's record staying safe.
Yeah. He got close. Cooper Kupp is a fucking cheat code, man.
He
Fucking
is.
cheat code.
What do they have in common?
Who? Megatron and Cooper?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was throwing on the rock.
Yeah, just a young man.
Yeah.
Westlake High School.
Westlake High School. Of course. Had to get the Texas reference in. Where'd he go to college?
Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows? Not important.
Not important. Couldn't tell you.
At least it wasn't Oklahoma.
Yeah, no, as long
Talking
as it
about
was
Stafford or
Stafford.
yeah, Georgia.
Yeah. At least it wasn't Oklahoma, right?
Where did Megatron go to college? I don't know
Georgia
that
Tech.
actually.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia
A school
Tech.
that doesn't throw the ball.
Yeah.
He was there during the triple option.
School that also doesn't win a lot of football games.
Riddle me that.
True. Also, here's a trivia question for you, and I've brought this up on the show before. Maybe you guys remember, but Calvin Johnson did not win Georgia Football Player of the Year in his senior year of high school. Who did?
What year was the senior year?
Oh, Jesus. 2007, 2008. It's a guy in the NFL now. It's a guy you would never guess because he doesn't play. It's a coach in the NFL.
Oh, fuck.
And there's another Stafford connection.
Sean McVay.
It is Sean McVay.
I was going Kellen Moore.
Sean motherfucking McVay, a read option quarterback in high school, won Georgia State Player of the Year.
Yeah, did you see him run down to the end zone?
Right? He could still get after it.
Yeah.
But he won Georgia State Player of the Year, Calvin Johnson's senior year. Go fucking riddle me that.
Damn. So I think we got into trouble last night on I saw some things get flagged from on the YouTubes. Fuck.
That's a sore subject.
Another big time receiver in the NFL went to Georgia Tech during those triple option days too, though. Played for the Broncos, just recently passed away. Demaryius Thomas played at Georgia Tech too.
Oh, we didn't even talk about Demaryius Thomas. What a shame.
Yeah. So young.
And we lost Bob Saget. Fuck, dude.
Yeah, 2022 can suck a dick
like
already.
30 days have sucked.
I'm giving Betty White to 2022 because I'm pretty sure that shadow was cast, and 2022 can fucking suck a dick from the back.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we've got a good 6 months of morning time on Betty White at least, I think.
Yeah.
But jokes are obviously allowed because that's what she would have wanted.
Oh, absolutely.
As a Hispanic man, Vicente Fernandez dying was a fucking travesty. I was in a dark place there for about a week. It was tough. Do you know who that is? You guys familiar with him? So the only comparison I've ever been able to make, I've thought about this for a while, is actually Johnny Cash. He wasn't
he's a
just
musician?
Yes. So he's he sings traditional Mexican music, right? And it's regional or ranchera music. And so anyways, he's been around since the 60s. And so he just recently retired 2 years ago, something like that. And so he passed away last month. And so this is somebody who, it didn't matter what type of music you listen to in Mexico, you know who he is and you like his music, period. It just is what it is. He's one of those guys, again, like Johnny Cash, like Elvis Presley probably would have been had he made it into his 80s. He's like that. So like the entire world from Texas south is in mourning right now. So yeah,
Oh, shit.
that's a tough one.
Legend, rest in peace.
For sure. 3 generations, all 3 of them, him, his son, and his grandson are all like really, really talented singers.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I think we can wrap it up here. Any closing remarks? Let's start with you, Raul.
Always run a QB sneak when you're inside your 15-yard line.
On second and third down.
Yeah. Just word of advice.
Yeah.
You know, as Pete Carroll says in the red zone, fucking pass play, bud.
Yeah. Right at the 1. Lean into it all the way.
Goal line, dude. You're running. Yeah, you're running a slant.
Hot route. Stove, closing remark.
How about them boys?
How about him, dude?
Yeah, we're going to find out this weekend if Dak's primed to make a run. Interested to see how he responds. They've had 2 good weeks and 1 bad week here down the stretch. So be interesting to see. For me, a couple good matchups this weekend, but the 3-day wild card weekend is weird. I'm sure Monday night I'm going to enjoy watching the game, but it's always been playoffs. It's Saturday, it's Sunday. We got marathons on both days. They should have just done 3 and 3, 1, 4, and 8 both days. Don't reinvent the wheel here, NFL. But money, you know, everybody's got to cash in. Monday Night Football is a big money generator, but I'm not super excited about the 3-day playoff weekend. As I said, though, I'm sure Monday night I'll be excited to watch some football, but it doesn't feel the same. It doesn't feel the same knowing that there's going to be a Monday night game. So they had the opportunity. They could have just run 3 slots on Saturday and Sunday, but whatever. Money, 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 money. Anyway, for Raul, for Big Stove, this has been the Backyard Blitz. We are out.